I have such a treat for you today. I am going to be sharing a tutorial about how to create professional looking Reels and TikToks with the captions embedded in. I started seeing this style when I started following Alex and Layla Hermosi. Scott Oldford does this. Also, Cody Sanchez from The Contrarian Investor. The way that they were doing it and the way that they continue to do it looks impeccable. It's amazing. But I didn't want to hire a expensive video editor to be churning out this content for me. I wanted to have a DIY strategy to create this kind of content. And I'm going to share exactly how to do that here in this video. Let's get to it. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kate Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I talk about all things branding, entrepreneurship, and psychology here on this channel. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe and stick around for more videos. I have you on my phone. I'll switch over to the official big pretty camera here in a moment, but I wanted to actually take you behind the scenes to show you how I have this set up. So you could absolutely shoot these on the phone, which we're going to talk about in just a second. On my computer, I am streaming the video into my computer in real time, and I have a setup to do this. This is more complicated than perhaps you need. You could just literally record this vertically on a phone and it would be perfect. But I like the extra production quality that my official camera gives. So I have it streaming into a piece of software called Ecamm Live. The sound is actually being recorded on my podcast mic, which is by ATC Technica. I'll link everything in the description below. On my screen, the software that you see that I'm going to be using to edit and add the captions in a really super easy and user-friendly way is called Descript. So that is the software side of things. Over in hardware, I have my Lumix camera. I'll show a better shot of that in a second. And I have a very cheap softbox that I bought off of Amazon. And then I have one more softbox over here. Since I have this dark gray wall behind me, I want to have some separation. I don't want it to look black in my photos. This is the Lumix G5 Panasonic, which I love. And this is an HDMI cable. This is what allows me to actually stream video in real time to my computer. Again, this is just extra complexity. I film it vertically because I want to have the best quality possible. I want it to stand out in the feed. If you don't have the professional camera or you just don't want to deal with the complexity, you could always have a tripod with this little phone grabber attachment on it. Film your video vertically right on your phone, and that would work as well. Sound is really important, so you want to be using a professional either lavalier mic. I like to use ones by Rode. If you don't have that, just the simple like white earbuds do upgrade the sound quite a bit that goes into an iPhone. And I'm sure similar results would apply if you are filming on a Google or Android phone. Just using any generic headphones are just going to give you a little bit of a nicer mic than the mic that's actually on the phone itself. That is the setup. Let's get into it. Fun little bonus. The little handheld tripod I was just using to film that intro is called SnapGrip. I just got it off of Kickstarter. It's this fun little magnetic holder for your phone, and so you can use it like so, and it came with a little light. Light. Perhaps not super relevant for filming reels unless you're doing it on the go. I have you set up now in that tripod with the phone extension that I shared with you earlier to show you the actual filming process. So my camera in vertical orientation is right in front of me. The key with Reels and TikToks is that you need to catch people's attention really quickly. So you want to have a hook planned that you are going to use to open your video with. And then I like to either do just like one point that I'm going to make in the content part of the video, or I share a quick list of 3 things. That format tends to work really well for me. So the one point, if I have a little bit more of a longer reframe or story to tell, and then a listicle of 3 pieces that I'm going to share just to keep people engaged. Like I'm gonna share 3 things, here's the 3 things, and then I'm done. So this is what it looks like when I'm filming. I'll have note cards in front of me with my hook and my 3 points. I'm using Ecamm Live to record. It actually records it on its side. I have to bring it into QuickTime to do the 90-degree rotation before I start to edit into Script. I'll show you all of that after I record some of this video. 3 unique gift ideas for the entrepreneur in your life. First one is the gift of time. And by time, I mean, what can you take off of their plate that is taking up a bunch of their time and energy around the house? Can you hire a housekeeper? Can you have the kids sent to grandma's or to a childcare place for the day? How can you give back some of the day to your entrepreneur? Now it's time to bring it into Descript and edit it. Okay, here is an inside look at Descript. I use this tool for everything. Essentially, it turns video editing into a word editing process. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. To give you an idea, I use it for editing my course videos, YouTube videos, transcribing my different videos, Reels, TikToks, and everything in between. So we're gonna click on new project up here. Our video that we recorded was 3 gift ideas. I'm gonna call it a short because it's a short video. Our next step is we need to upload the video file that we just created. But before we do that, I remembered that I still have this sideways video because I recorded it on my regular camera. So I opened it up in just QuickTime, and then I'm going to click on edit, rotate right. So I get a vertical video, and I'm going to save that on my desktop. So I'm exporting it as a 1080p, basically the highest video resolution that was available to me. Save that, baby. All right, so I can drag that 3-minute file over into Descript. It's gonna ask me to set my transcription language, and then it lets me know that my transcript will be ready in a few minutes. And the magic of Descript goes to work. There we go. The thing I love about this program is that it automates and uses AI and machine learning to do a lot of what I need to do, which vastly reduces the time that I need to spend. The first thing that I always do once I bring a video in is that I want to shorten my word gaps. I am notorious for pausing in between my words and in between my sentences. When I'm recording for Reels and TikToks, people have no attention span for this. I think Gen Z is lovingly calling this the millennial pause, where we don't start talking right away. And then I also, like I said, sometimes have word gaps that are too long. So anything longer than 0.3 seconds, I shorten it to 0.3 seconds and I apply this to all. And sometimes you have to click it a few times for some reason. I don't know why. I just click it until it stops working. And then the next thing that I do is, again, underneath this wrench, if it wasn't grayed out, I would remove filler words. So if I had said etc., then I would want to take those out of the recording because it's just dead air. We don't really need that. In this case, I managed to get through the recording without having dead air. Amazing. And then I always remove any words that I say before I actually start talking. The next thing that I do is I want to check and see where we're at. I'm going to take this little tail end off. I have this little section range highlighter, and I can just hit the delete button and take that piece off. I can see that I'm at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. This begins the most time intensive part of the process, where I go through each recording and I try to get it down underneath 1 minute. This means that I can use the video in all of the places. I can use it on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram Reels or Stories, and then also on TikTok. Now, if I just can't get it down to a minute, then there's still places I can still use it on TikTok and I can still use it on Instagram Reels if it's a little bit longer, but I don't think people's attention spans are that long. So I want to try to remove all of the spaces and any filler content or anytime I repeat myself from the video to try to get down to 1 minute. I will narrate part of this, but I'm sure we'll speed through some of this process here as we're going. 3 unique gift ideas for the entrepreneur in your life. First one is the gift. You can see here on the bottom, there is a space, which makes sense because I ended a sentence and started a new one. But again, short attention spans, I'm going to delete part of that out. Here's a good example of some extra language that I don't actually need to say. So I said, what can you take off of their plate that is taking up a bunch of time and energy around the house? It doesn't necessarily have to be around the house, so I can just delete around the house. I have some weird something that happened here. I have an ass sound. Can you have the... So I am going to delete that part. Can you have kids sent to grandma's or to... Much better. Second gift idea is to give them... Second gift that you can... And you can see I repeated myself here, so I'm going to delete. that part. They can use it for a strategic planning session, or just sometimes Descript will get a little bit too aggressive and it'll cut off the ends of words. And if that happens, you can just drag this guy over where that waveform, you can still see that sound is happening. And I'm also, since I'm here, I'm just going to delete that little space, and then it all sounds like it should. The other thing that I'm doing while I'm going through this is I am verifying the accuracy of the transcription. Since it is done by a machine, it's not always perfect, especially if you have an interesting accent or you don't quite articulate the words that you're trying to say. The reason this is important is because we're going to use the captions to add it to the actual video that we're creating. If you're being a real stickler, you're even going to want to pay attention to the punctuation. It most often will get the punctuation wrong. If you select a part of the transcription and hit E, it pops it open and you can correct it. So this doesn't actually change the video. It only changes the text that's on the screen to make it accurate. Okay, so now we're down to 1:30 after removing all of the obvious mess ups, and I would have to start getting kind of crazy with removing content, and I probably will do that yet. For the sake of this tutorial video, I'm going to keep it at 1:30 and I'm going to show you the rest of this process. So once we get to this point, we are going to Command A or Control A to select all, hit this little plus mark, and we're adding fancy captions. Now you can see when I click over what those look like, and then we have some inspection. We have attributes that are applied to that part of the video. In this program, I use Montserrat. It is very similar to my brand font. So because it doesn't have my exact custom brand font loaded into Descript, I use one that is similar. I like to use a really big size. So like 120, I'm using semi-bold. These are already set by my brand standards. I'm just basically duplicating as closely as possible the visual identity standards that I use in other places. Then I like to add word level animation with my brand color, which means that it's going to highlight the word that I'm speaking at the time that I'm speaking it. So we can see how these captions look. 3 unique gift ideas for the entrepreneur in your life. Perfect. So we have the captions. We're off to a really good start. We can start to add in even more elements to make watching this 1.5 minute long video even more interesting. I like to add some emojis, which is on brand for me. In lieu of emojis or instead of emojis, you could add in things like stock video or other video, B-roll video it's called, into the clip. This is going to depend on how much time you want to spend on this, because we have a really good start here. We have the video, it's quick and concise and accurate, and we have the transcriptions, which is amazing. Now we're just going to bring it to that next level. For example, when I say, can you hire a housekeeper? I can select that word because it'll select that part of the video, and I can add in some text. On my Mac, I can do Command Control Space and it brings up my emoji board, and then I can select a broom and I can then decide how big I want this emoji to be, and then I can just move it to where I want on the screen. Can I hire a housekeeper? And I'm going to put it down right here. That emoji only shows up during that part of the video. I continue this process adding more emojis whenever I say a key point that I want to highlight to draw attention to that can add some fun visual elements to look at. And there you have it. You have a very quick, cost-effective, fast way to almost duplicate what some of the big entrepreneurs in our space are doing by paying a video editor thousands of dollars a month. Once we have the video edited, we're going to go to File, Composition, and Export. We can edit it to a video file. From there, we can airdrop it to our phone and then post it to social media. 3 unique gift ideas for the entrepreneur in your life. First one is the gift of time. Can you hire a housekeeper? Can you have kids sent to grandma's or childcare for the day? Second gift is the gift of space. Could you book a on-brand hotel or Airbnb for your entrepreneur to get away for a day, maybe a weekend, or even a whole luxurious week so that they can work on creating content? They can use it for a strategic planning session or just to have thinking time. And our third gift idea is the gift of intelligence. How can you help your human be a better, smarter, more effective human? Often that means surrounding themselves with like like-minded, ambitious humans? Can you invest in their entrepreneurial education? Can you help them join a mastermind? Could you invest in some books? If you're an entrepreneur, what gift would you love to receive? Let me know in the comments. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm using the Descript software for a lot of different things, not just these Reels and TikToks, but you can use them for YouTube videos, for course content. It's a really powerful piece of software to add to your arsenal. I also really enjoy the Ecamm Live software, which I used to stream. I'm literally using it right at this moment as I'm recording to stream this video into my computer, so I don't have to worry about the storage card in my camera and then using a card reader to upload it to my machine and all of those things. It just streams it directly. And if you've ever been on a Zoom call with somebody who looks fantastic and obviously has a very high quality camera, they are using a setup like this. You have the camera, you have the HDMI cable, and then you have an HDMI converter. Like I said, all of that is linked in the description below, so you can set up your own high quality professional looking videos, whether you're using that for Reels or TikToks or just to wow your coworkers on Zoom.